son has called me every night at exactly 9:17 p.m. for the last 3 years. Not 9:15, not 9:20. Exactly 9:17. At first I thought it was sweet, a habit. Something he picked up after his father passed away. Back then, I was still learning how to sleep in a quiet house, how to eat dinner without setting 2 plates, how to breathe without feeling like something was missing. The calls helped. He would ask about my day, about my neighbor's loud dog, about whether I'd taken my blood pressure medication. Sometimes we laughed. Sometimes we sat in silence just listening to each other breathe. But there was always one question. Always. No matter how light or serious the conversation was. Before we hung up, he would ask it in the same calm voice. "Mom, are you alone?" At first, I answered without thinking. "Yes, sweetheart, just me." Sometimes I joked. "Unless you count the ghost of your father stealing my blankets." He never laughed at that. He would just say, "Okay, good night, Mom, lock your doors." I told myself he was just being protective. He worked in city planning, dealt with crime reports, zoning issues, emergency response meetings. He saw the darker side of things. Of course he worried. Still, the way he asked never sounded casual. It sounded like he was checking something off a list. Last night started like every other night. I had just finished washing the dishes. The TV murmured in the background. One of those crime shows I half-watch while scrolling on my phone. Rain tapped against the windows. The house smelled like lemon soap and old wood. At 9:17, my phone rang. "Hi, Mom." "Hi, honey." We talked about nothing important. He told me work was busy. I complained about my knee acting up again. I mentioned the power flickering earlier in the evening. Then there was a pause. "Not long, just long enough." "Mom," he said gently. "Are you alone?" I opened my mouth to say yes. The word was right there. But something stopped me. I don't know what it was. Maybe instinct. Maybe exhaustion. Maybe the strange feeling I'd had all evening. Like the house wasn't as empty as it looked. Earlier I could have sworn I heard a sound upstairs. Not a creak. Not the house settling. A soft shuffle. I told myself it was nothing. Still, when my son asked the question, my heart beat just a little faster. And for the first time in 3 years, I lied. "No," I said. "My friend Linda stopped by. She's still here." The silence on the other end of the line was immediate. Sharp. Then he said very calmly, "Mom, put me on speaker." I did. "Linda," he said, raising his voice slightly. "Could you say hello?" I froze. There was no Linda. My throat tightened. "She's in the bathroom," I said quickly. Another pause. Then my son spoke again, and this time his voice was different. Controlled, low, urgent. "Mom," he said, "I need you to listen to me very carefully." My stomach dropped. "Do not hang up. Do not move. And do not tell anyone in the house that you're on the phone with me." The rain outside suddenly sounded louder. "What's wrong?" I whispered. "Mom," he said, "when you said you weren't alone, the motion sensor outside your back door just triggered. I felt cold all over. I didn't want to scare you," he continued. "But I have access to the neighborhood safety feed. I've been monitoring it since there were break-ins nearby." My mind raced. "I see someone inside your house." The room felt like it was shrinking. "I don't see their face," he said. "But I see movement upstairs near your bedroom." My hands started shaking so badly I had to set the phone down on the table. "That's why I ask every night," he said quietly. "That question isn't small talk." I whispered, "What do I do?" There was a brief pause. Then he said 4 words that made my blood run cold. "Mom, they think you're alone." My son stayed calm. I didn't. My heart was pounding so hard I was afraid whoever was upstairs could hear it. "Mom," he said, "I need you to stay exactly where you are." "Are the kitchen doors locked?" "Yes," I whispered. "I locked them after dinner." "Good. Is the hallway light on?" "No." "Keep it that way." I could barely breathe. He explained quickly, quietly. There had been a pattern of home invasions targeting elderly women living alone. The intruders watched, learned routines, waited for the right moment, and every single case started the same way. The victim was alone. "That's why I call," he said. I needed to know if tonight was the night I had to act. I wanted to scream, to cry, to run. Instead, I sat at my kitchen table, gripping the edge like it was the only thing holding me to the world. "I'm calling the police now," he said, "but I need you to buy time." "How?" I whispered. by keeping them confused. He told me to stand up slowly, make noise like I was talking to someone else in the house, to say things like, "I'll be right there," or "Can you grab that for me?" My voice felt foreign coming out of my mouth. "Linda," I called shakily, "can you come help me for a second?" The house answered with silence. Then, a floorboard creaked upstairs. I almost collapsed. My son heard it through the phone. "They heard you," he said. "Good." "Good?" I whispered, terrified. "Yes," he said. "That means they think you're not alone. That changes everything." He told me intruders rely on certainty. Once doubt enters the picture, they hesitate. They reassess. They make mistakes. Minutes passed like hours. I kept talking, making up conversations, asking invisible people questions. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow, careful, coming down the stairs. "Mom," my son said. "They're heading toward the living room." I heard a shadow pass the doorway. Someone was there. I couldn't see their face. Just a shape, watching, waiting. Then my phone buzzed. "Police are 2 minutes out," my son said. The figure froze. I stood taller than I felt, louder than I was. "I told you," I said to the empty air, forcing confidence into my voice. "We should have gone to bed earlier." The shadow moved back, retreated. Then the back door slammed. The sound echoed through the house like a gunshot. I collapsed into the chair, sobbing. The police arrived moments later. Lights flashing, voices calling out, doors opening and closing. They searched the house, found muddy footprints near my bedroom window, a knife on the floor. One officer looked at me and said, "If you had been alone tonight, this would have ended very differently." I didn't sleep that night, or the next. The house felt different, smaller. Like it remembered what almost happened. My son stayed with me for a week. He installed better locks, cameras, motion sensors inside and out. But what stayed with me most wasn't the fear. It was the question. "Are you alone?" I finally asked him why he never told me the truth before. He looked down and said, "Because I knew if I did, you'd stop living your life. You'd stop feeling safe." He paused. "And I needed you to answer honestly. Until the day you couldn't." I realized then how close I'd come. How one simple truth, one careless honesty could have cost me everything. Now when my phone rings at 9:17, I answer with a smile. "No," I say. "I'm not alone, even when I am." Because sometimes a lie isn't betrayal. Sometimes it's survival.